Oh yeah, or we can place it back. Let's place it back.
That's why it's useful to have bedrock. Yeah, map switch is off. Need to turn this on.
Okay, Axe. There's basically nothing left, right, in the bartering system.
Hold on, listen to something in the background. Turn it off since we're talking. So I think the main thing now is we might have to consider
Oh
if
yeah,
we want
this
to use
one.
the stacking stuff, which we have like the stuff for. It's not like I deleted that, so it's not really undoable. And if it's worth it or not to use something like that, I mean, I think it would definitely add speed of like collecting them up so you can tag them.
Yep.
But is it worth it or not? I guess is the
How hard is it to do? Is it just a matter of timings, or is it more than that?
yeah, it's timings. That's all. It would just be like because with this tagger, the extra carts like that are empty don't matter basically, right? Because
Yeah.
they'll never enter the actual system where we need to worry about them. So at that point, it's like we can just let everything go, kind of from everywhere, and then as long as it self controls like letting stuff out, as long as there's only stuff there. Piglin's there. Sorry, I'm getting a little obfuscated. As long as it only lets carts out as long as piglins are there, then that's all that matters. An extra even
Yeah.
8 carts enter the hit the name tagger. Who cares because they're gone and
Yeah.
don't matter. So that's what I thought of last night as I was getting off and then starting to hit the bed. Yeah, I know it didn't, but we can still do. It's going to be something similar in a way. It's not going to be necessarily this maybe, but what I was seeing is it seemed like 2 carts got like thrown off sometimes. I mean, we can't really do vertical because it's a platform. So unless we're gonna like drop some down and recollect them in or something, which at that point it might be better to use like put them into 2 streams and time it so that it's 2 stacks rather than 1 stack. Because that's when you look at this, it seems to work for the first. Hold on, I think I'm in CS. Yeah, it seems to work for the first stack like 4, but then it just all goes crazy once it hits that second corner.
Do we have to put them in minecarts in the first place? Couldn't we just have the name tagger right next to the spawning area and then transport them with a different
That's what I
method?
was thinking about. Kind of, I think you still need the carts to get them in the play. I mean, yeah, that's the two parts of the problem. One problem is when you have the spawn platform, you can't have the one player has to be up top, and the second player can't like just be in it. You know what I mean? So you do kind of have to move them. There is other ways to move them, but I don't know if collecting them all up and using like push methods would be much better than just throwing them in a cart for a couple seconds. At least to get them to the name tagger. Once they leave the name tagger, you kind of do need carts because then you're going to be sending
Yeah,
them a distance.
of course.
Okay, I'm going back to main storage, which is here. The location was far away. And actually on the server, I don't think there is anything to do at the moment. We need to prepare some stuff for future projects. So yeah, there is not really anything to do. We finished this, the bedrock breaking, but we need to make the walls for the decoration for this perimeter, which are not completely designed yet. We have the patterns, but it's not finalized. Okay, finally we are here. I can show you some of the things I was working on CMP. I don't know if you saw this. So I shared this on my Discord server, which is a gradient from red to yellow. So we have 3 colors here. And this is the same thing but with different settings. And then I tried different things like this pattern here, this one, and also this one. And all of this is automated by a machine. This is the same but with different colors. And this is the old one. The new one is here. So, well, to encode the pattern, well, you have... I can explain you first this thing. So this is for the normal gradient. So here you have a randomizer. So you just have shulker boxes with different signal strengths from 1 to 15. And you take each one of those signal strengths and you compare it to a signal on the side from 15 to 0. And depending on the signal, you add either the first color, the second one, or the third one. Hi Vagmesh. So in the beginning, you have a lot of this color, then you start adding this one, then you start adding the third one, and you remove the first one. So at the end, you just have those two. And so you have 20 cycles because you have this going from 15 to 0, so that's 16 cycles. And then I add a signal strength here. So I add 1, then 2, 3, and 4. So I have 4 cycles here and 16 here, which means in total it's 20. So when you're making your wall, you want the wall to be a multiple of 20. So you can have the wall 200 blocks high, and you will do 10 of each cycle. But if, for example, your wall is 199 blocks high, then it will move by 1 block each time. And I think I have an example of this. Yeah, this. So here it will move 1 block each time. So it creates a diagonal thing. And here I change the height of the wall, so that's why it's even weirder here. And now if you want to make something like this, you can also change the counter below it. So here you have 10 items, it means it will do 10 blocks before changing this. So it will do 10 times 15, then 10 times 14. But if you change this to like anything, you can try different things. You can change when this will start again, so you can create patterns. But basically I just tested things without really thinking, and I found some patterns. So for this one, it's 4 in the counter and the height is 199. So that means it needs 2 slices to do the entire gradient. No, it has 3 gradients in 2 slices. And then you move everything 1 block each time. and here it's a bit different. So that's 8 in the counter. That's why it's, yeah, it's different. It's kind of hard to describe it, but it's similar because it has a diagonal thing, but it's not exactly the same. And this is even different. So for this one, I have one gradient, then I added the black border, and then I changed the gradient with different colors. And to have this, instead of just having one big gradient from bottom to top, I just have 5. So 1, 2, no 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 of each color. And I just added the last slice is black instead of just the yellow or the light blue. So it creates a nice border. And again, it moves every time by one block. So it creates a diagonal thing. And this is almost the exact same machine as this one. So if I find it again, it's this one. So as you can see, it's really similar to this one. It's a bit bigger. So obviously I have more colors here. But the only thing is I added this, so it overrides the signal strength and it can choose the black color. So it input a signal strength of 7, which is here. So then it will choose the 7 here. And then, so it does one gradient from red to yellow. It changes color. And then it does those 3 colors here. And to change the color, it's with this part here. So usually I have a signal strength from 1 to 3 because I have this is 3 on the composer. And if I change this to 6, then I will have 4 to 6. So I just add 3 to the total signal strength by just changing this. So I can trigger this. And it's really nice to have the gravity block here. So the wiring is not complicated. And yet then it changes the signal strength here. And the machine could be improved, especially because now if you pause it, it's really hard to turn it on again without messing up the pattern. Like you will end up with things like this, which is not nice. But if you start it correctly and you don't stop it, it will work fine. In that case, it's reliable. Yeah, the goal that I had then was to make this and then make something that looks like this, or more like this one because I don't have the white. So a diagonal, then it goes down and goes up again. But to go down, it's a lot harder than to go up. It's easy to do one of the two, but it's hard to do both. So yeah, the goal will be to work on this if I get motivated again, because it takes a while to figure out the timings. But that's pretty much the only thing I've been doing since I'm on the server, at least on creative. And well, I don't know when I will release this. Thanks for the follow, Marco. Still depends because I want to. I already showed it to the others, and if someone want to improve it, I will wait on someone to improve it. But if no one wants to improve it, I will release it at some point. And thanks for the follow, Wagmish. What wool wall arrow? Don't remember what this is. Like it's a design you had on. I can't remember this. projects on my main world, I started something which is not really interesting. Uh, I started a quarry, and right now I'm at a tunnel bar, which is not interesting at all. So I will finish it soon because I did more than 1,000 blocks and I want to do 2,000, like 2 sections. And when it's done, I will stream again on this world to build the quarry and some other machines. But streaming the tunnel bar is really boring. So usually I just watch something on the side because it's nothing really interesting. But that's the main project. And since it's a bit boring, I've been just doing one session every 5 days. Or yeah, I've been playing mainly on Chronos those last 2 weeks because well, I just joined, so I wanted to spend more time here. And I started working on this, so I spent like 5 days, 8 hours every time to work on this, and it's really time consuming. Well, I probably saw that deco, but I can't remember it now. Like you have so many decoration on your server, so it's hard to remember everything. The placement is 6 game tick, which is the fastest possible. Yeah, I really like this one. Like I loved this when I first saw it. Then I loved this one, which I think looks better. Then I did this, and I think now it's even better. Just this is triggering me a bit. Those blocks here. But I think there is an issue with the timings. It's supposed to be blue. Like it should be 100% chance of having the blue here. Yeah, don't worry about the cactus. Just have to AFK, and it's if you don't have a fast farm, is it's slow, but yeah, you don't have anything to do, and it's usually not that laggy. Yeah, I can try with different colors. I just did it with those one, but you can do pretty much any gradient you want as long as it's a gravity block. I guess you could do black and gray. Yeah, I could start it. If I remember correctly, I will start this one here. The randomizer is just so you have the boxes here, and it's just dispense the boxes, and because the droppers and dispenser are random, I don't think it's 100% random because once the box gets here, it won't be able to be dispensed like the next time and even the time after, so it's not entirely random, but it's enough. So yeah, I can show you how this works. And to make sure it's not broken, because when you do some testing, sometimes you change things and then you forgot to place those back. So I need to remove this. Okay, so this should be 10. So when you build this, you should have 10 items here if your wall is 200 blocks high. Yeah, the bottles are the random numbers because like here I have 2 bottles, so it's signal strength of 2. If I have 4, it will be I think 3. I have 1, 7 I think. So yeah, you have 15 different boxes, each one with different signal strengths. You can use anything you want here. Just usually in stackable is a bit easier. Okay, so I will place a bot. You need to be in survival, otherwise it doesn't work. Make sure the inventory is empty. Okay, then it needs to have... I can't remember if it's 10 or 12. I think it's supposed to be 12 for this one, but it's different from the other one. I'll try with 12. 12, and then I think it should work, hopefully. Then you need to do so player use interval 6, and I think it's not facing the, or maybe no, it's the correct player. It's not facing the correct way. Okay. It's maybe 13. It's been a while since I used it. We'll try 13. That's why it's not very user friendly, because yeah, it's not the best thing to use. I need to restart this, of course. Yeah, no, I think it was 10. So I was right in the beginning. I will have a few players, some bots and some other people. Okay, I think 10 is the correct amount, so I had 10 here. I forgot to remove the blocks here, so it will not be perfect, but at least you can see the machine is in action. So you can see the signal strength here decreasing. Then it goes to here, and that's where here it compares to those two comparators, so this one and this one. So if the signal strength is 0, it will output 2. If it's between 1 and 6, it will output 1. And if it's between 7 and 15, it will output 0. Then you invert here, so instead of 0 to 2, it will be 1 to 3. And then here just have a red color to select the correct item. As you can see, I forgot to remove the blocks here, so it's not perfect, but you can see the gradient. You usually need blocks here if you don't want this to be alternating. And you can do faster than 6 game tick. It's the maximum speed with gravity blocks. If you do 4, it will do really weird things. If you do 5, it will work sometime, but it will fail also a lot, so 6 it's the max. Yeah, 4 game tick, we had a setup here. I can show you. It's actually funny what happens. So this is 6. You can see it works fine. So now if I do 4. It does this, and then it goes down at some point. It's floating for a while and then it goes down, so you can't work with this. And I think it's losing blocks. Sometimes blocks are broken. Yeah. So you can't work with this if you're losing blocks. Yeah, this is ForgMT compatible. This is not the same as what I use here. It's a bit more complicated. Yeah, ForgMT is not possible. And if you do 5 with the scaffolding, it looks correct, but sometimes you're losing some items. Yeah, again. And this is just ghost block. If I try to place something here, it will transform to sand. But yeah, we tested some things and you can just do 6 game ticks. The gradient starts here now. It will be pretty much the same thing, just the last blocks are on the bottom instead of the top. And it looks nice with those colors too, but I prefer the red and yellow. So yeah, we're using here some composter, which has a signal strength of 1 to reduce this. So it remove 1 every time. Doing the same here. So yeah, I can show you this. So it goes to 0 and then it stops here and it changes here. And it resets every slice. So this is just the counter. Every time you send a signal here. Yeah, 6 game tick is fine. Like usually just AFK at it, so you don't have to. It's quick anyway. Okay, so now it goes to 1 here, so we add 1 to the signal strength. And we add 2, 3, and it stops at 4. And then reset. But before resetting, it goes to 5. I think that's the issue. We need to change the timing so it goes from 4 to 0, and I'm not sure how. And by adding a signal strength here, then the minimum, instead of being 0, it's 1, then 2, up to 4. And to have a red, in this case a purple, it's signal strength from 1 to 6. So at the end, if you have 4, there is almost no chance to have the purple at the end, but you can still have some, but it's pretty rare. Well, the plan is not really to make it smaller, but to make it more user-friendly. Like as you can see, I just it was not easy to set up. So if you know exactly how to do it, it's not too complicated. You just have to place 10 blocks in to the bot. But like now, if I want to stop it, the bot will receive 3 or 4 items, and then you need to make sure you place them in the correct order. But you also need to have some buffer items to start it again. And there is a good chance you will mess the pattern and move everything by a few blocks. That's the part I would like to improve. because if you have no idea how this works, it will be really hard to use. But the wiring could be made smaller, of course, but I don't think by a lot, because all the calculation part is this line here that goes then there. I don't see how you can remove some operations, but you could simplify some things, like from the counter to this, like this too. You could remove some blocks. Some things could be improved, but that's not really the point, because it will not be really more like friendly or more easier to build. Biomarker. I guess a good thing would be to, like a floppy placer, which there is a part here. This is the ROM, it's a lot bigger, but with it you can make sure you only have an item when you place an item. So if you stop placing, you won't have any items in your inventory. But I don't know how this works exactly, so I will have to check on this. Yeah, it's really small, because it's not really encoded. Well, I guess it's encoding, but it's just signal strings. You have 3 colors, and depending on the signal strength you select one of the colors. But it's not like this one where you really have all the blocks for your pattern and it's really big. But yeah, I don't see really a point to make it smaller. That's not really the goal. And the other placer, gradient placer, which does a gradient like similar to this one, but with just 2 colors, so it starts from here and then ends up at the other side. It's also like, it's more advanced than the one I have, more finished, because more people worked on it, but they still want to improve it. But this is even simpler. But I think, yeah, I'm missing the counters here. I actually explained this in the first Chronos video. I used this setup to explain this. Actually, it's maybe the second one, but there will be some time before I release them, because we need to wait for the tour first, which will happen at some point, but it might happen in 2 weeks, it might happen in 2 months. So before that, I don't really want to upload the videos, because I want to upload the tour first. So I have 2 videos already. It's survival videos, but I also explain some stuff. I also explained something here. I don't know if you know this. I think most people don't, because I've never seen that before. So that's what you usually use to transport items in the nether for bedrock breaking. So you have your ice line, then you have your piston, you dispense them, line them on one side, and then line them on the other side, and you have this to push them. But it's not huge, but it's still big and annoying to build, especially since if you can do that instead, which is a lot simpler. I think Cubic makes mostly creative videos. The goal here is to make survival videos and explain some stuff in creative. Like, the inspiration for me is the video that Ilmango used to do in Cycraft a few years ago. It kind of stopped because it's not active as much active as before. But like, just you explain what you're doing in survival, showing the stuff, and then explaining some things in creative. Maybe some episode will be entirely in creative, but yeah, the goal is to mostly do survival. Hi Salt, thanks for the follow. Yeah, so with this one, you can just line the item the same way, and then it looks like it broke, but it's working, just a glitch. You can show it again. Sometimes it's hard to see. Yeah, it's working. So how do you do this? It's actually quite simple. So you just need to have minecart. So you need to place the minecart, place piston, remove the rail, then you need to zero tick the minecart. So it moved a bit. You need to place the rail back, then align the boat, and you can break this. And hopefully it works. Yeah. So it looks aligned, like it looks exactly aligned, but I think it's a bit off. It's kind of hard to see. I can't really tell. And obviously it doesn't work if you just use block. I can show you. It will go near it, but it won't be pushed by the slime block. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's kind of really useful. I don't know what you can do with this, except just for the item alignment in Nether. But I'm sure you can use it for other stuff. There is also another setup, which will be... So you have a repeater and the dust. And so it's a bit more complicated to build, but at least it pushes the items a lot further. So you don't have to build as much as this one. But I don't know which one is the best, so yeah, both are really good. And both are really a lot simpler than this one. Yeah, that I think the extent of what I have in my... It's I plot of the SMP. Not really a plot, but I just choose this location. Everyone has kind of his locations. I don't have a lot of stuff. I have this too. This, the TNT stuff. I think I have command blocks. A conveyor that starts at the end of the conveyor for some reason. Yeah, I spent way too much time on this. Yeah, so the annoying part with this is you have to trigger first this piston and then this one. So the signal arrives from here, but you need 2 observers here and 1 here. But yeah, you can make 2 observers this way, so you save some space, which is the exact same thing. And you can clock it at 10 game tick. This is the fastest. I haven't tried 9, but 8 doesn't work. But then you need to have the 2 observers here and 1 here, but you can also use this one to trigger this piston. So you can just do that instead. And I don't think you can use less observers, because you always need to have more delay with this one. And this one is also 10 game tick, I think. Don't really see a lot of uses for this, but that's mostly TNT looting. And this is kind of stupid, but it's fun. It's 9 game tick of lifetime, but it's really not practical to use for a mob farm, because it's way too few spawning spaces. You just have one for I don't know how much blocks, how many blocks. I like the animation. Just this will push the creeper up, but it will pull up, and then you can have just another slime block. But you can't even see it. And this is just nice if you want to prevent the light. What's the best chunk loader? I think most people are using the one with the pumpkins. I'm not sure why. I'm using, um, I think it's Kahixens. I'm not sure. But every chunk loader that has, like, that uses item is really good. I don't think you can have a bad chunk loader. But you can search on the storage deck Discord. But yeah, I don't know why everyone uses the chunk loader with the pumpkins. I just use one with normal items. And yeah, just need to have a global clock. Yeah, I don't have emotes on my stream. I really should set up some emotes. And this is an idea I had to make a game, because we were thinking of making a game district on Chronos just because it's fun and games can be really technical. I don't know if you saw on WaveTech they have a chess game. I think someone made a video on it and it's really amazing. Like it's huge, the decoration is also amazing and it's really smart. So you can play chess, you can save some games, then continue them later. Yeah, maybe it has powder snow. I can't remember, but it uses some display. So on the floor you have some displays with different things in the chest. So yeah, I think it uses powder snow. I can't remember. But yeah, I really like the idea of having game district so we can work on more complicated games. And I wanted to do Connect 4, which is just usually you start with nothing. And then so you can place some block. So you have two players, each one has his color. So you place the blocks, and the goal is to have 4 blocks of the same color next to each other. So you win, for example, if you have 4 like this, or if you have 4 this way, also win. So the goal was to make this probably with powder this way, so it's simpler, but then I need to find a way to detect when I have 4 blocks in a row or in a line this way or also in a line this way. And the logic for that will be really complicated. So the UI will be really simple, and obviously you can just be like, okay, I have 4, so I won, but I want to make something automated, so when I have 4, the game will notice it. It will say which player have won, and then it will reset the game, place everything in the correct side. So yeah, I have an idea to detect when we have 4 blocks vertical. I also have an idea when it's horizontal, but when it's diagonal, it's really hard. So that's why I started doing some things like 2 hours ago, just before the stream. But I have no idea if it will work, if it's even possible. I assume it will be possible, just need to find the correct way to do it. This is still working. It's messed up, but you just have to imagine this at the top. Oh yeah, and also the reason it's hard to make a 4-game tick placer is that's not this one. It's hard to make a randomizer at 4-game tick. Yeah, I tried this. Because when you have 4-game tick, you can either uh, trigger the pistons and the dropper or dispenser at the same time. So the box here is placed and it goes here, but you can't even see it. You can see it gets placed here. And the comparator cannot detect it, so it's too fast. But if you place the block 1 game tick after you trigger the piston, then you can place the block, can place anything. So the only way to place the box will be to trigger it at the same time at the piston, but then you can see anything. So you would need to have two different 8-game tick. That's the only way. But I think the goal here will also be to make simple gradients, but with more than 3 colors. Maybe I can use the thing I have here, just with adding the signal strength here. But I will need to make this bigger. Well, the other thing is, what gradient could you do? Because with 6 colors, like you can add the sand, the red sand, and do this. That's possible. It's 4. Maybe the white, but I don't think it will look great. You don't have too many options. So yeah, I don't know how to improve it really. Because you can only use the gravity blocks, of course. Maybe the regular sand. This could be cool, I guess. 6 colors. The transition here is nice. This is a bit too fast of the transition. This looks nice. Yeah, those 3 are not as good as those 3. But I think it can work. Just need to find a way to make the gradient work. But if it's possible, yeah. I think it's pretty much the only gradient that will look good. Maybe if I do something with the gray. That's only 4. Maybe the sand here. Yeah, no. I don't think I can use the same method as here, because it will just be 2 gradients on top of each other, and the bottom is just 1 color, so you need to have the transition between the 3rd and the 4th color. So using this, it's not possible. I don't know if I can use the same comparison method because I had two comparators comparing the same signal strengths. I could have three, but I can't have four. On vacation in 1 week. I think pretty much everyone started school or work. I mean, it's nice to start a vacation when everyone is done with their vacation. Yeah, the other issue would be that you just have 15 colors here, 15 signal strengths, and you can divide 15 in 3 colors, but in 6 colors you won't have a good gradient because the colors will arrive too quickly. Yeah, so I think we can't use the same method. We just have to find a different way to do it. Otherwise, it will be too fast of a gradient. But Greece is really nice. Last time I went there was like 5, 6 years ago, maybe more. Yeah, maybe 7 or 8 years ago. It was really nice. It's really hot, but in September it will be less hot than in July or August. Yeah, how can I make a transition? Because if I change this, then there is no way to have anything between 1 and 3. So that's not a good transition. Yeah, I will have to think more about this. Like, don't have any idea at the moment. Yeah, that will be a way to have 4 colors. Oh, well, no. Yeah, okay. You can do this, but then you need to compare it again. And I don't see how you can do this if you have this in the way. Well, you could do this. Yeah, then you have two outputs. You made a chest full of redstone lamps. Why do you need that much redstone lamps? Want to build a lot of display or what? I know I like displays, but I don't think I even have a double chest full of lamps. Now let's add some signal strength. So we'll need the book. I had a book somewhere. Okay, so you can have signal strength of one. No, it's supposed to start with 2. Yeah. So you could have 3 then here, then 2, then 1. So we can have this activate only. Yeah. If it's 5 or more. And then only if it's 10 or more. It's supposed to be 3. Yeah, of course. I have 1. Yeah, so if you have 0 will output 3, this should be the output connected to these two. If it's between 1 and 4, it will output 2. And if it's 5, it will output here 0 but here 1. And if it's 10 and more, it will output 0. So you can have 4 different colors. Then you just have to change the signal strength here to change the transition. So that's why you can choose if you want to have the orange, like a lot of orange here, or a few. But yeah, basically that's this. Those one only activates if the signal strength is at least equal to the one on the side. So this one will only activate if it's 5 or above, and this one only if it's 10 or above. And each time it activates, it will trigger either this one, which is signal strength of 3, this one which is 2, this one which is 1. Then you just have to, you have between 0 and 3, so you just have to invert it this way. So supposed to have, I think I have too much. Oh yeah, okay. Supposed to have 2. Then I can just have a red coder, so this thing here. Which means if I have 4, it will select fourth one. If I have 2, it will select second one. This part is really simple. And it can be expanded to 15, so that's not the issue. The issue is just the logic before. So you can have more than, well actually you could maybe have 4 if you have the signal like coming from here. But even, no, I don't think it's possible. But then you have to divide 15 by 4 and you change colors pretty quickly. Yeah, so that would be a prototype, but I don't think it's worth it to wire the rest because the gradient will not be as nice, and the goal will be to make something that's expandable between, well, 2 and 15 will be amazing, because if at some point we get more gravity blocks, we can make gradient between 15 colors. I don't think 15 will be really nice, really useful. I think 3 is nice, but 5 or 6 will be really good. More than that, I don't think the gradient will be a lot better. But you could also make it compatible with non-gravity blocks. You can just use the same machine, but instead of using this, you just have to well, maybe you need to change the machine, but you can use something like the wall placer. But I think the wall placer just place one layer at a time. Here you will need to place one slice at a time, which would be also possible. Just have a conveyor that goes up and it moves this way each time. You can just act as divided to make something like this. So yeah, if the logics works, to 15, we can expand it and just have something compatible with any blocks. So you can make a gradient with everything, any blocks you want. That's movable at least. I think 15 is overkill. You want to know how to detect when a chest is full with redstone lamp? Like just with one lamp, or have like 15 lamps? Because with one lamp it's kind of easy. Just have your chest. So you need a comparator. Yeah, I made a video on different lamp displays. So the comparator will detect how full the chest is. Like this is signal strength 14. If it's full, it will be 15. And you want this to turn on only when it's 15. And for that you can have a signal strength of 15 on the side. So now if I remove something, it will be 14, and this is too high, so it won't turn on. You can even do this. It's the same. You can have it, well, if you have it on subtract mode, will never turn on. So you need to have it this way. And then you can just have your lamp anywhere you want. So if you want it here, you can use this. And if you want to make more of those, so do the same thing this way. And then, well, you can have the lamp on this side. Well, it doesn't look great. If you want the lamp here, I think it will be a bit more complicated. I think the easiest solution will be to have it this way. Well, no. But now it will... It doesn't matter, I think. You can have it this way. And this way. So only when it's full, it will turn on. I guess there is an issue because if this is full, it will also turn on the bottom one. So if this is empty, it will still be on. But if you have something like this, well, you can't really have hoppers just thinking about it. But I made something, I think, in the video to have some lamps on the side. Just have to do it a bit differently. Just can't remember how I did it. I think one other option would be to... I think it will be better if you have some hoppers. Just have the hoppers and you detect directly the hoppers. Because if the hopper has anything, that means the chest is full, obviously, so it's also another possibility. This you can just have it this way. For this one, I think I had it a bit differently. You can have a target block here, but it doesn't look good. Or you could have the comparator here. And have it this way. Takes a bit more space, but it also works. I think it's better. Just keep in mind that you can't do this. Because if you do this, then it will trigger both lamps. So you just need to have a block. And it's the same with the redstone. If you have a block, it works fine. I guess this works. I think Brad is working on his raid farm. I don't know if you saw it. It's on the Chronos. It's on the public channel, which is called Raid Farm. I think it was Ultimate Raid Farm, but it's been renamed. And the new version of the Chronos Raid Farm, which is the V4 now, it might be called the V4. It's a lot less laggy than the V3. So I don't know how laggy the V3 is for you. For me, it's like 30 MSPT on my PC. On the server, it's even like 35 on Oracle. And on this server, it's like 13 MSPT, which is really low. So 13 is really low, and the new one is... I think it's 7 MSPT. So almost half for the same rates. It's like a bit below because it's supposed to be 33.3K and it's 33.0 or 0.2. It's a bit below, but it's almost the same thing. Basically the same rate. I think it's bigger. But you can see the videos on the channel. It's bigger, but it's a lot less laggy. It's laggier and more like free than all the other raid farm. At least the raid farm that uses a sword and not TNT looting. Yeah, this observer, in case you are wondering why there is an observer here that doesn't detect anything, it's just to redirect the redstone here, because without it, we'll connect here, which, oh yeah, that's also nice. In the block update, it will do a clock, so of course you don't want it to make a clock, so you just redirect it, and it stops. And if you redirect the redstone dust and then direct it to the block again, it will bud the comparator, which is actually called a CUD, comparator date detector, and it's used for some things like stack separation, maybe other things, but I've seen it used for that. So like, it's powered, it just need a block update. So this, yeah, this works. Usually people use like lava, but it will connect with this one too, so we can't use a lever here. I could show you at some point one of my timelines. It's usually really simple because I'm not doing a lot of editings. I'm just exporting all the replays and putting all the replays next to each other and just adding the music. There is nothing really complicated. When I'm recording a video, when I'm speaking, it's a bit more complicated because I have the mic and the music. Usually I have to change the volume a bit more, but usually really simple editing. Because I don't like spending too much time editing. Like for example, I spent a lot of time this week making the edit for the Chronos 2 year. And it's fun making the video, but after sometimes I'm really tired of editing. I like making videos, but I don't like editing for too long. That's why I'm making simple edits. But yeah, I could send it to you. Okay, if there is anything else you want me to show you, I can show you, but I don't think I will continue because I don't have anything to do actually. It's like 2 a.m. I will need to go to sleep soon. And as I said, I don't have anything interesting to show you in my survival world because since the last video I just made tunnel boring, which is boring. I could show you the progress I made. I could launch the other instance. I usually can do 500 blocks in 2.5 hours, I think, approximately. Well, the timeline in the time lapses look pretty much like I showed in the video. Like in the video where I explain how I make my time lapses, I showed some example, and that's pretty much how it looks in general. And again, for the replays, I just never spend a lot of time on those. Just open those and make something simple. Okay, I could show you those what I have here. So that's everything I edited recently on the video. That's a lot. And all of those are really simple. Don't think I have one. I could edit this one so you can see. This one is the hoggling farm running. Usually what I do is pause it first so it's less laggy. When I have a lot of things running and I don't need to have a big render distance, I usually change this to like 12. But here we'll keep it to 16. And I always change this to 70. I feel like it's more cinematic if it's smaller. Here I just want to show the farm in action. Yeah, this is ridiculous. This is actually a CMP because on SMP the collection is not complete. We just have the farm. But we'll need to build it before the tour, so I just recorded this so I can edit it now and then it's done. Can maybe just stay here and observe the farm. Yeah, as soon as they spawn, blocks get retracted and I think it's, yeah, they get down axled. Well, this is the end now, but you have then the minecarts. Collect everything. And this is pretty ridiculous. Building this might have been really a lot of fun. Minecarts are really weird with the replay mode sometimes. But I don't understand, you have a better PC than me. How can I have like better performance? And I'm also streaming, so it should be worse. Like, I have 60 FPS because the farm is running and it stopped now, so I have more. I don't have really great performance. And the replay is really short here, it's only 27 seconds. What GPU do you have? Because if I remember correctly, maybe it was just the CPU that was better. Okay, yeah, for this one, what I want to do, I think I will just something here to see the farm in action and also the collection a bit. Oh yeah, 1060, yeah. I have a 1070, so it's a bit above. That's true. But in Minecraft, that's mainly the CPU. So if you have a better CPU, except when you're using shaders, the rest of the time you should have at least decent performance. Okay, so let's start here. You can see it's for the edit. I just do simple stuff because if it moves a lot, it gets annoying. And this is supposed to be like a 2-second shot, maybe more. So we'll go with 4. Be on the safe side. And just change this here. And I learned yesterday that you can just right click on the position keyframe and it will go to the correct position. I've been using this for 2.5 years now and I just discovered that yesterday. Hi Nudge. Thanks a lot for the nice ones. I'm doing well. I was sick for like 2 weeks, but now I'm feeling better. Yeah, the Iron Farm video was 6 months ago and it was a big one to make, but definitely worth it because I used the farm a lot. Yeah, let's see how this looks. As you can see, it loads. I can see anything, but I just can get an idea of the path. So I know it's a bit too fast. Just changes, but like 90% of the shots I made for my videos, I just can't read those. I just made the camera path, and I'm like, okay, it will be fine. And then I'm exporting, and then I can see if it's correct or not. Usually I just keep it, but most of the time I can't read the file because it's too much things going on. It's already struggling for this one. Yeah, usually what I do is to save a thumbnail, so I know I've edited this one. And yeah, this is not nice, but I can remove this. I can now show you if you want how I can export this. First I exit so it's saved. I can go back here, load it. So like for example here and some other project that we did, there are some stuff that are not really nice in the video, so I can just remove them. I can open Twig Fork, and here I can how it's called, selective. You can select the area selector. I have this thing which is similar to Lightomatica. You can select this from here to there. I'm not the best one when it comes to Iron Farm. So if you're on a vanilla server, then you should not have too many weird issues, at least. Depends on what type of farm you have. If it works on the clock or if it just works without any clock. If it's something complicated, usually you just have to make sure the villagers can sleep. And if they sleep, you should not have an issue. Yeah, I assume it's like something for early game, which in the spawn chunk for early game it's fine, because especially in single player. If it's on a server, it depends if the other members are agreed with this, but usually if you make a big farm, just don't build it in spawn chunk or it will be always lagging the server. People used to do that a lot in earlier versions, but it's not a good idea. But it will be easier if you go on my Discord server and send pictures. If you don't have the link, you can do !Discord. It should work. Okay, so when I select this, I can just do plus. It will add to a list. And then I can just, not this, I can remove the area selector and tweak selective block rendering. True. And it will remove the blocks, which is really nice for those types of things. And if you do some mistakes like I did on the other side, I remove some part of the decoration. Like it's supposed to be here. Just removed it. The issue is you can't select which area you want to remove. You can just remove everything. So yeah, it's a bit annoying, but yeah. No, don't worry about asking questions here. If you have any question, you can ask, but I might not be able to help you correctly without pictures or anything. Okay, so now I just need to enable the shaders. It's a bit bright, but the issue here is this is a bit dark, and decoration is dark, but the farm is really well lit up, so you can't do anything to make it better, I think. I'm exporting in 4K, so to 4K I just have 3800 by 40 by 2160, and I'm at 30 bitrate. So looks for my 4K videos I have 30 bitrates. On YouTube I think you can go up to 40, but for micro videos it doesn't make sense. So 30 is already, I think, a bit overkill. But if you're doing 1080p, you can do 10. It's the max on YouTube anyway. And if you can do 20, 25 in 2K. In 2K, usually I do 20. I don't change this. I used to change this, but I don't because it takes too much time. And in 4K, you can see the difference. And I let this at 60 because for cinematics, that's what is best. If you go below, it doesn't look as good. But if you like movies and you want to go 24, 25, but yeah, it's not as good. And you could export it in more frame rates if you want to slow it down later. But I never slow down the replays. Usually I make them faster, so I always keep that at 60. If you don't have a good PC, I think it's better to have this not too high. Then just click render, and this should not take too long because it's just a short clip of 4 seconds and it's not even being faster than the real time. And actually having the preview doesn't make it really slower. I could remove the particle, but I think I will keep those. And the farm is a bit fast. You can see already like all the hoglins, and it's just one mob cap. Like the mob cap was around 60, 70. Technically you could run it at multiple mob caps. At least in 117 it's not possible, in 118 and above. And I don't know the exact rates. Okay, and it's already done. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything. Then, like what I did here, I had to do, well, every time you see a picture, I did the same thing. So that's like 25, 30 replay just for the edit. That's everything I've done since I'm on Chronos. This was before. This was the portion video, and apart from the last clips that I made in August, all the other ones was I made those in. Actually, it was yeah, I edited those in August. That's why it's here. But I made those in early July. Okay, now it should, if I do this, should have, yeah, okay. Now I'm on 118. And the server should be on, I hope. Yeah. So yeah, the last 2 weeks I just played 3 times on my world because tunnel boring is boring and I'm not motivated to play too much doing that, but I really want to do the next part of the project. So it's the first time I actually show this. I send the picture in the private channel, so if you are a YouTube member or a Twitch subscriber, or if you boost the Discord server, you can have access to private channels. You can have exclusive previews. And this is the current state of Eternal Ball. So it's 530 blocks long, which is big and not too big. For quarries, it's big, but it's not the biggest. But I don't want it to have something really big and then too laggy to run, since I will need to run it for a few days, maybe a week, I don't know yet. And I don't try to collect all the diamonds here because, like, when I tried to collect the diamonds with the other balls, I was making, I think, 50 or like 48 blocks an hour in this, like moving 48 blocks an hour. So to move 2,000 blocks, it will be 20 hours, maybe more. And if I don't collect the diamonds, I can move in 1 hour like 200 blocks, which is like 4 times faster, and it's already annoying. So I just, so I just every time I need to stop for the lava, I just collect the diamonds I see, but don't really stop it. I think I had maybe 4 or 5 stacks, but it's not too much. That's usually what I can have, 5 stacks in 1 hour. Okay, I will look at it after the stream. Maybe someone will answer you before that. And the current state, the current progress, but the beginning is on the other side, obviously. As you can see, yeah, I made quite a lot of progress. Okay, it stops here. Trenches was made in April, I think. Made this a long time ago. Just a trench, and then it's a bit bigger than the regular world eater because it's 24, 25. And on the map, that's basically the Mesa quarry, basically. And the tunnel bar is here. So it starts as 2800 and it's at 2640. So that's 1600 blocks, not even, well, yeah, 1600, that's more than I saw. Yeah, so I wanted to do 2000. Maybe I will do more because this is 3000 is here. And I have Mesa to 25,000. So technically I could do 2500 blocks long, but depends on if I lose my sanity first. Yeah, I mean, I'm not in 117. I would have dug this, at least the trench. I can do it later. I will have smooth wall for this because I will have a 3 wide trencher, obviously. But I can still do that later if if people really want to. The stone will be fast, but the deep slate, even mining 2 layers of this, it's really annoying. At least on Chronos we can insta-mine the deep slate with the netherite pickaxe. And I don't know if we will keep that in 118. I think we will keep it. That's why I like digging on Chronos. Everything can be insta-mined. Like in the first 4 days, I mined 250 blocks because we had 2 different digging projects which we needed to dig a mob switch and also a blaze farm, which was almost done. The blaze farm looks nice. Blaze farm was 12.7 million blocks. Yeah, a lot of people say this, and actually insta mining deep slate is so satisfying. The sound. That's where I'm at. Yeah. Yeah, the next project will be like when I'm done with this, I can just in one stream build the 2 3 wide trencher, which last time took me 1 hour to build and make the trenches. And I don't need to make the trench now, so I can build it in one stream, the 2, then it will run for 1 week straight. Then I can build the quarry. I can't really build it first because I need my account to record it, and I can't record the 2 things at the same time. And do I have the schematic for the quarry? No, it's not placed. But I decided to do one thing which is pretty stupid, but I decided I had a lot of diamonds, and why not use those for slimestone? So in my really organized schematic folder, I have the quarry V2, and I don't have the. It will be laggy. I don't have the exact coordinate of the placement. Oh man, can place it approximately. I don't see what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, it's too laggy. I can't see anything. I had something. I think that's this one. Yeah, that's the tunnel bore, and that's the core. So I decided why not making use of some nice blocks. So I replaced every solid block in it with diamond block. I think yeah there are few here. I have the prismarine because it looks nice. Also the wall, and I wanted to make I could use diamond blocks here. How many blocks is that? I don't think I have enough. $28,000. No, I clearly don't have enough. I have 2.5 shulker boxes of blocks, so that's 4,000 blocks. And the schematic has 8 stack, 9 stacks. So 9 stacks of diamond blocks, at least a good use for those. I think that's the only nice block I use, because I can't really change anything. And for the roof, you can't really have a really nice roof. At least you can have a pixel art, because how it works, it takes this block here, it pushes down the block, then it moves block at the back. Actually, I think that's the opposite. Yeah, it goes from here, takes the block here, and it moves it in the front. So it will like kind of circle this way. So if you have a pixel art, it will get messed up pretty soon. But you can have like a, I don't know, some. Well, I could have a gradient. I mean, why not? Gradient or some waves or anything. Because I don't want to have a roof that looks like this. Because especially on the map, it's not great. Yeah, that could be a really good time lapse. But I asked Tempo on my Discord, who made recently a time lapse of his quarry, and his was just the same length, same. It was 500 blocks wide, but just for 1,000 blocks, and I think it had way too much space for the replay files. So if I record everything, I might have maybe 500 gigs of replay files. So we'll see if I record everything. And I definitely need to make my new PC before that. Because currently in my hard drive I have, on the main one, I have 1 gigs available, and on my 2 other one I have 20 gigs, I think. So I really need to make a new one. And by the way, did you saw this? I shared the video when it came out. Maybe the world download is broken now. This is broken, but this is not. This is a long tunnel. Well, so it's supposed to work. You can have a completely full array of blocks like this. You can make it even more. And you can make a tunnel with this machine. Just need to remember how this works. Just need to do this. And yeah, then you need to leave the area. You need to be in lazy chunks, I think. I can just change this to 5, maybe 2. So this is loaded. I have Bobby. No, I don't. Yeah, now it's working because I'm too far away. So I can do a tick warp. So it will, well, I actually not able to explain it correctly, but it will store some TNT here. And it's only working when you're not near the machine. Kind of similar to Kubik's cannon, which you might have seen. And it will wait until the player goes in the area, and then it will dispense all those TNT at once. And it will create a tunnel here. And we can load it again, and maybe there will be lag spike. Just as you saw. Big cannon. Which is, it's amazing. Like, just a short amount of time. Big tunnel, like. And if you let it run for a long time, then it will make a bigger tunnel. And well, the only issue with this machine is it dispenses all the TNT at the same time. So if you wait for a long time, the game may crash. But for a short tunnel, it's fine. This one will dispense them not all at the same time, so you will not crash. And this one, which is broken, because it's a bit harder to use, it will create an area in 2 dimensions. So pretty much the same thing that you can do with Cubic Cannon, you can do it with this, which is broken, but it's like just this size. It's really small. It's slower, but it's really small. And all of this was designed by Dark. You can see the video on YouTube. And building this will take 5 minutes, and with this you can make a tunnel of 1,000 blocks. I wanted to build something like this for the quarry, just to avoid building a tunnel bar, but like I was not sure how to use the machine exactly, so I was like, yeah, I will make a tunnel ball, but if you know how to use this, I think it's really worth it. But it's a lot faster. Not, yeah, I don't think it's faster, but it's a lot less work because you just have to wait on AFK. I wanted to check something, Chronos. Well, I will restart. Okay, I'm back. Needed to grab some water. Yeah, rendering in 4K is a lot longer than 1080p. Usually for me, 2K is a bit longer than 4K, but 4K is a lot longer. That's usually how it goes, and I think that's mainly due to the graphic card. Okay, Yuno is online. The bedbot is online too, and the mob switch has been activated again. FPS is really low for some reason. Well, this is main storage obviously, but yeah. And we have the bedrock in the decoration, which I think it's really nice. And if you thought my perimeter was big, you haven't seen this one, which you can see it because we're inside. Actually, I'm still on the voice chat. You can maybe leave. Okay, so this perimeter apparently it's supposed to be 1.4K by 1.4K. That's nice. So yeah, 1400 by 1400 blocks. Yeah, 1200 and 1800 to 3200. And it's really empty because we have the main storage, the bulk, and the XP farm, which is like even on a good server like ours, it's really laggy. I have. This is unexpected. Hi Yono, thanks for the follow. I never saw that before. Edit. Well, that's fun, I guess. I need to repair my Elytra, so I can show you the XP farm, which is laggy, but on this server it's actually fine. So we are at 10 MSPT at the moment, and chunks are not loading. Okay, I think someone left without collecting some of the XP. And on repair mode, okay, so we went from 10 ms to 30. Everything is already repaired. It's just some portals, but it's really massive. It's hard to render. You can see the XP goes up pretty quickly. So I wanted to check on the Blaze farm. It's Jackass, thanks for the follow. It's on the south side. Oh, fast. And the chunks load really fast also, it's so satisfying. Okay, so the perimeter, the bedrock is entirely done. But nobody started to fill it. Yeah, I think the goal is to first make the wall decoration. That's why we're not filling it yet. How to make this piston belt? You mean this one exactly? Well, if you're just talking about the top part, which is I think probably what you need, that's called the dummy bolt. So you can just search on YouTube, and there is at least few videos explaining it. And I think it should be shown how to build it, because I don't really know how to make those rails. I never did it. Yeah, dummy bolt. And if you're talking about the encoding part, I'm not the right person to ask, because it's quite complicated. I don't know which station are done and which are not. This one looks complete, but I'm not sure. And I think the goal is just to have a way to go from each station to any station that you want. So you can just encode a signal that then will be sent yeah, with the comparators. And I think it's in bits and hexadecimal, so you can have, I don't know how many stations, but a few hundreds at least, which is way more than we need. But apart from this part, the rest is normal piston bolt. And this is a tunnel. It's long, but it's not done. That's what we want to finish. Like this. You can see in the transition, all the logic below it. Looks complicated. And you have, this is just a normal piston bolt minus the comparator. So if you remove the comparators and you just keep the repeaters, this is what you need, which is I believe twice less piston than before. In the older versions you had one piston per block, I think. But yeah, decoration needs to be made and some logic too. This is not decorated. And it links to this. This one is decorated. And I think we need to finish this before the tour. So when the tour will happen, you will be able to see it in action. And I will be finally able to use this. Because every time we need to go somewhere, we need to fly. Which can take some time. And this is the middle again. Like the long destination, like this one, can take some time. Also the dual guardian here. And I think last time I streamed, we were working on removing the breakers here. And I showed you the overworld side, but not the nasal side because it was not done. I can show it to you now. I want to fly there. Like the piston boat ride to go there, it's 4 or 5 minutes. And I'm already there. So the pattern is almost the same as in the overworld. And it's really nice. And this is the gradient. So this is the machine that inspired me to make mine. And this is even smaller. But I think it's smaller because more people worked on it. So Arnold made the prototype, the first prototype. And I think Divided Nurse and Hamter worked on this to make it more compact and everything. That's why it's so compact. And so you have the shulker box randomizer here. Here you have the signal strengths on the side, as I had. And here you just have two colors, so it's either 1 or 2. No, I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly. I think it's just either 0 or 1. And then you convert it to choose, like you start with 2 colors, so like this one and this one, and after sometimes when this reaches 0, no, after sometimes this reaches 0, this goes down by 1 and you change between 2 colors. But you just have a gradient between 2 colors. You can't have a gradient between 3 colors. That's why you have only the red, then it starts with the purple. Then you have only purple and it starts with black. So it's a bit different. Actually, I think it doesn't look as good as the other gradient. But it was the first machine and it's more usable than mine, so yeah. And it's also 6 game tick. And like always, it's really flush with the bedrock because it's been filled. That's the good thing of having the bedrock item. You can just fill everything. And the farm in the middle. And actually those conveyors are not the same one. Those are just detection based, so you have observers on the wall. This looks so annoying to build. I had to pick pictures with the complete perimeter because you can't really see here. But I need to make another one with shaders. Oh yeah, I remember the Thailand TT block 36 because I watched in the video. It's this thing. Yeah, the TNT for TNT looting. So when you're here with a render distance of 16, you should just, it should barely be in the render distance. So it should be lazy loaded, which means that the mob will be killed in lazy chunks and cause a lot less lag. And you use TNT because then you can kill the mob by being far away from them, and you can apply looting by having an arrow shot by the player. So you can have a lot of items without having the farm be too laggy. And the new one is, yeah, this is maybe is the thing. The new one is a lot easier to build. Yeah, you can see there are some entities here. Yeah, it's floating because not it's you can see the hitbox. The new one is here. That's this one. And in comparison to this one, it's a lot better. Yeah. So we still have the TNT looting, which even this part is simpler. It's not the same conveyor because you just have one. In this case, not three. So you need to have it fog empty compatible. And you don't have any slice portals. I think you just need to place the arrow, but there is nothing any really complicated. Yeah, no, you have the arrow here. And this farm I will build it probably in the last perimeter I made. Just need some flint and steel. Yeah, that's true. Having to craft the TNT and the flint and steel make it like a bit. You need to put more effort. So when it's built, you can't use it indefinitely, which is nice. But I don't know how many flint and steel you use per hour. So how much this thing is triggered? Because you can also use some fire charges, which you can have for bartering. So you can you can barter like a lot of double chests of fire charges and bring everything here, so you don't have to craft the flint and steel. And for the TNT, you just have to have the sand. So that's really not too much if you dupe the sand. If you don't dupe it, yeah, it's kind of annoying. Okay, so with one box of ingots, you can make a 64 box of flint and steel, I think. So pretty much double chest, 6 hours. So here we have 8. So it's almost 6 times 8, so 48. So more than 40 hours you can use this. In 40 hours, if you have 80, it's maybe 84, I don't know, maybe 80 redstone dust an hour. I think you're set up for a long time. It's like 3.2 million. Actually, 3.2 million is not even 5. Well, I guess you need to invest a lot of flint and steel then, but that's not too big of an issue. And you have 2 times the amount here, so it's on 80 hours. I like the wither-based basalt farm. A really flint and steel farm. You just have an iron farm and a flint farm. Yeah, I guess you need to craft them automatically, so it's nice. Nice you can do that. This is a wither killer, I think. Go to bed in 10 minutes. Yeah, it's early. It's late for you too. It's almost 3 a.m. Same time as me. Oh, this perimeter I like. Looks better with shaders. This is the nether side of the redstone perimeter, so we have just the storage. Oh, I know. I disabled the rendering of this. That's why I could not find it. Just have the storage. This is the storage of the 6 game tick raid farm. Also iron farm. And also spruce farm somewhere. This is a mess. Too much rails. Because it's linked, the ultimate raid farm is here. So they moved the villagers, but didn't remove the line. And I like the drop shot. This is for the ravagers. They just drop into the void. I didn't see the chunk loaders below the bedrock. This is just box loader for the pistons, I think. Maybe for something else. No filters. This is slime farm. I guess I could show you other things, but I don't want to spoil everything before the tour. But all the small projects like those I showed, like the basalt and the things, I don't think we will show. There are enough big projects. And I like the early game slime farm. You can probably see it on the map. This is spawn, this is spawn area. I think it's Mushroom Island. This is Handog perimeter that has never been used. This is a slime farm. Yeah, I don't want to show it too much, the slime farm. I mean, it's just 5 pixels arranged in certain way. You could probably find the same 5 pixels in some part of the walls. That would not surprise me. Also, the end, we have some nice things. This part is not really nice, and the end switch is not on. I actually don't know how to turn it on. Can we just... No. Oh, it only works with quick carpet. That's sad. Okay. I don't even know where the mob switch is here. Well, can go in survival. What can go wrong? Wool farm, we have the tree farm. This is my favorite decoration. I won't show you everything, but I will show you this one because that's the one I like the most in the end. Maybe it's not a good idea if I stay in survival. I will stay in spectator so I don't load too many endermans. They will steal the grass blocks. So this is the dark oak tree farm. Which is here, which is not public yet because I don't know, not sure. It's not public. It's using withers, this one. So you have the llama like the floppy spruce one. I think it's pretty much the same alignment. And even the houses are decorated. Like full interior. Last time I went here, I went upstairs and I think it was... No, not here. Well, there was a bed somewhere and I almost clicked it. Yeah, this one. Like, I forgot it was on in the end, so I almost clicked it. This kind of thing, it will probably happen during the tour. The llama is for the alignment. So you need to move left and right to place the saplings, because you need to place in a 4x4. And you can use a minecart, but I think the thing is you can move faster and more precise with the llama. The alignment is better. So you can have a better alignment. That's why we use llama, and we can make the farm faster. Slower farms will use minecart, but faster farms will use the llama. Which is actually annoying to set up, obviously. Find this everywhere here. And we have the map art here. Like more server, we have those in the end. And some of those look really nice. This one is really nice, and it's 5x3, I think. I only participate in this one. I built like a third of this. Place some black concrete, like 50,000. It's funny because the only mob I killed in this server is a bat. That's the only mob I killed. And I played 2.3 days. She's actually not that much. I played a lot in the first week, then I played a lot in creative, so didn't play as much in survival. And I will probably make a map art at some point. I never made one before, but here I have all the materials, and we can use easy place for the map art. So we use easy place for the decorations and map arts, but not for the redstone parts. When you see the decorations like without easy place, that will be annoying. Some servers will do it, but not us. And this is the quarry also. Yeah, I don't know what this thing with those crystals. They kept a lot of crystals, but never did anything with those. Apart, I just here. Good night, Lux. I will also go to sleep soon. I just want to show you this. The game tick cocoa bean farm. Bye, see you next time. This one is really small, it's 2 blocks wide and 6 by 6, I believe. Yeah, mine was 5 by 5 but 3 blocks wide, so in total it was bigger. I have no idea how it's possible to make something that small. I tried for a lot of hours and... Yeah, you wrote it right. It's exactly how this is written. Yeah, a lot of piston noises. But the one gate tick has like 2 different places to actually... No, maybe more than 2. I think it's 4. 4 logs to place the cocoa bean. You can have just with 1. It's 2, okay. Maybe I saw a different one. How to pronounce this? Well, depends. Usually you'd say au revoir. But most English people just say au revoir. Well, you have the bedrock item somewhere here, which I find funny. If you want to troll, you can just take this and have fun. When I made some boxes for my ender chest, actually I need to get rid of those things. Like I made a useful box and I have the bedrock item just in case. And obviously I have an entire box of pickaxe because you need a lot. I even renamed some of my tools. Don't know if some people will have the reference. I don't think someone will have the reference for this. There is really a small chance that will happen. And for this it's kind of obvious if you're French. I didn't have any idea for the hoe yet. It will come later. Okay, it's really late. I mean, never sleeping at this time, but it's still late. So I will leave it now. So yeah, we started by making the perimeter, even if it's just some attempts, to practice it. We never did anything complete. The goal is to make it below 2 hours and 30 minutes, but with the current technique we have, it's not possible to do better. We have a world editor that moves 4 blocks down every time, and the goal is to make one that moves 6 blocks, I think, maybe more. And also to have, I think the first goal is to have sweepers that move 2 blocks each time instead of just one like the normal ones. And once those are done, I think when the sweepers will be done, it will be the new meta to just have a 4x world eater, so it goes one time, it moves 2 blocks down, and it goes another time, so it's 2 times faster. It will be a bit more complicated to build, but not too much. And I think with this technique we could make perimeter in less than 2 hours. But yeah, it takes some practice and development and designing with people smarter than me, so I can't really help. Thank you. So for everyone that stayed for a long time, and thanks for the sub too, from Lux and also from Demise. Thank you. And well, next stream will be, I don't know when, but I will stream and I will build the 3 white trencher in my world. And on this world, I don't know, we need to build the big cannon. It will be built soon because we decided today to build it soon. So yeah. See you next time for this. Bye.